Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about tanks, how to make them faster, and a cool new steering system I made that doesn't use glitches. So let's get going. If we go out of my garage here, I've got an example. Here we got a typical main battle tank. It's powered by 4 electric engines, of course, like a typical scrap mechanic battle tank. See, it's kind of fast, but it's never gonna be as fast as a gas engine. So, here we got a car, typical scrap mechanic car, a little bit small. It's very fast, because it's got a gas engine. Now, typically, if you would try to put a gas engine in a tank, there comes a problem. You see, if you are trying to use gas engines and stack them on top of each other, like this, how you do it with electric engines, they will just oppose each other's forces and make it free spin. Now that's a big problem, because you won't be able to turn or drive normally. Now one way to solve this would be to put a big ass suspension glitch in this thing, but that's kinda cheesy and boring. And so I decided I'd make this system. Now it is different how you make it, depending on how compact you want it to be, but this is version 1. And you can see I have a block on the outside of the suspension where there is a steering bearing attached with a rod on it, and there are pipe pieces on this wheel. These pipe pieces make sure to catch this when it goes down, therefore stopping the wheel and making it so you turn. Which I'll demonstrate right here. You can see the rod turn, block the wheel, and you see we drift. Now this is version 1. It has a little bit of an input delay, and it's very aggressive on the turning. But it has the advantage of a gas engine, and that's that it's really fast, and it doesn't use any glitches. It does, however, use the same amount of bearings that a normal tank would use. So it's no increase in performance. Just cool mechanical, and it makes you drift. And it's more realistic than suspension glitch. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to build this in a moment. So let's turn on the lights in my garage and let's get going. Also, you go out of the way. Perfect. Now I'll show you how to make one module of the suspension, then how to make it steer properly, and then give some tips and tricks, and then build a basic tank chassis out of it. Now, the common way I used to build the suspension before, I did the easy way, was by building our tank chassis. This is my tank chassis, we say. Place this here. I seriously don't have suspension on me. It's kind of stupid. Alright. Let's do that. Let's place a pipe piece. The reason why it's gotta be this small pipe piece, like in the other one, I built a cube, but that proved to be a little bit, hard to steer, and it has to travel a longer distance, and so I came up with a different idea where you use a certain little quirk of this game, where pipe pieces, as you can see, if you stand behind them, they still allow you to place pipes on top of them. If I can get that right now, it doesn't work for some reason, but I use that to my advantage, and you can place a bearing on top. If you align yourself perfectly with this bearing, as you can see I'm trying to do right now, there, oh wait, almost, look at that. Now we can have this as a steering bearing and this as the normal bearing, and this way make it really compact. Only thing I do not recommend though is, I do recommend the longer springs, because This might cause suspension glitches if you're not careful or if you haven't tuned your vehicle correctly. But yeah, it's not that large of a risk, but I do recommend like adapting your vehicle to this technology and not just slapping it onto anything. Then we place on a wheel, and what I found out is that these pipe pieces, they are great and all, because what happens is that it gets caught in between them, and it has like quite a large window to do that, meaning that you won't have any issues where it will just be skipping over all the pipe pieces. It will almost 100% of the time get in there. Now we'll be placing this, and we'll be placing a bolt on top of that. This is so that, you know, it will lock in even quicker. Now, as an example, I'm going to now build a little base around this. Oh, wait. Never mind, I'm just gonna weld it to the ground here. Alright. Now if you place a seat down, we will see by connecting this up. Oh, wait, we don't have an engine either. If you have an engine and a seat, connect the seat to the engine, that to the wheel, no other quirks. Use this. Now, what you will see is that that thing will turn. Now, we do have one tiny teeny problem here. That is that this thing is rotating into the wall. Now there isn't much happening. That's because we're in a structure that's welded to the ground. Now, if this were on a vehicle, you will have the problem that this will cause a suspension glitch, which is what we want to avoid, and the reason I came up with this system in the first place, because it's more natural. Now, the way to solve this is to either make it so that you have more space between the vehicle and the wheel, which solves the issue in the easiest and cheapest way, especially if you're in survival. Second option is, if you really need a compact vehicle, is to upgrade your seat to level 5 and then set the angles manually, making it so it won't turn the other way basically. This way you can also edit the speed of the bearing, making it really fast, and meaning you'll have very high reaction time. Now, the one issue with this is this seat, it's expensive and not everyone likes it. You know, I personally, I prefer this one over that one, because this one is too futuristic, especially like the 4x6 version. Now, one way you can mitigate this is by having a AD converter and some controllers. The only thing that prevents me from doing that personally is because you'll have a bit of input lag, and because I'm pretty sure controllers are not as fast as seat controls. But this does mean you will just have one controller per side basically, and then you'll have to use a... Where did I have my bearings moving? Also, it's behaving weirdly. So yeah, sometimes it does this, and you just remove that. Don't know. Sometimes it doesn't react to the bolt. It depends. If you have a very heavy vehicle, then it will just push through this, and it will just be a minor inconvenience that you don't even have to care about. But with lighter vehicles, you may need to remove the bolt. As you see, it does still collide with it. So, if we make an AD converter right here, gonna need some sensors for that too. I'm just gonna make a real basic one. Don't comment on that this one is really bad. It's just one I'm making right now. I usually make it much more efficient. This is just for the purpose of showing how you get up. So, steering up to that, and now let's say that this is our right side, and we want to turn right. Meaning we can define a custom angle here. It's too fast. Let's say 45 degrees. Now if we turn, that's embarrassing. Put it the wrong way. Now if we turn, you can see it does that. But that's where the issue comes in. You see, that is not very fast at all, actually. Now if you put it up to 90, it will be faster, but as you see, it goes through the wheel for a bit, and it goes back very slowly. So that's another reason why I don't really recommend controllers for this. But it is like, yeah, that's the only way that if you do want this particular sheet, or if you're in survival and you're not really keen on removing blocks, then this might be your only way or option. Now there are other ways, of course, which would be to like build it a different way, but I haven't discovered any way yet to solve this problem. Now let's get to building a basic tank segment using this, and I'll show you a little easy cheat you can do. Because what I used to do back, I showed it just a second ago, was that I'd use to line my cursor up perfectly so it could place one of those bearings on top of the pipe inside the suspension. Which, well, if you practice, it goes really quickly, but there is a way that's even faster. So if I am going to place down the suspension right here, suspension here, look at that. Now if I take now comes the part that's handy here. You don't need a thin pipe piece if you're going to do it like this. Meaning you can use any block you want, place a lift underneath it, and put your lift up. And as you see, because this is welded to the ground, well, it just pushes it through. The lift is infinitely strong, and that's why this is so great and easy. So you can just place a bearing on top of it, and then do the same thing as you always do, which is forget the pipes you were actually using, which is stupid. And yeah, it might do that. It might glitch out a little. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? Okay, place blocks, then take some suspension, place another block on top of that, place the lift underneath, put the lift up, put the bearing on it, put your piece, put your other piece, and there you go. An easy module tank suspension. Now, sometimes for some reason when it's loose and on its own, it kind of acts like a suspension glitch, but as soon as you attach it to a vehicle, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't even stabilize. So let's get this out of the way now, and let's look at how we can build a very simple little tank vehicle. Now I'm going to build this out of simple metal, tier 2 metal I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm going to use a 3 wide base with a seat. I'm going to use a level 5 seat for this one, just because of the ease of use. Then I'm going to add this. This is just to show how compact this can be, because this can even save space. Because, for example, the suspension is already there, you gotta have it, meaning it's already taking up space. And the steering system is inside the suspension, meaning it's not really taking any extra space. The only extra space you're actually using might be that the wheels are sticking out a little, but that's actually taking up less space than if you would have like need to put suspension glitch in here. Although you could of course put it under the seat, but of course it's just cool to do it this way. Now, I obviously made it hard for myself, so I'm going to cut this part where I lined it up, but if you want to do this yourself, just make one of these, save them on a lift, and you can just weld them to the sides to make this tank. Yeah, finally. That took a while. Alright. Like so. Place 5 pieces on these. Then in turn put wheels on those. I'm upgrading these engines just because I want to. You don't have to. You can build this like however you want. I just prefer the sound of these engines a bit more than the other ones. Now I was going to use... Oh well, I have a level 5 seat now of course to make this easy. And I could delete them, but of course I do need to show you guys how to set it up properly. So this is for the level 5 version, let's say that. And now is a good opportunity to show the suspension glitch I was talking about earlier that will happen if you don't configure this and haven't removed any blocks. Let's place the lift down. Let's drive out. And as you see, the suspension glitch occurs. This is because that right side, as you see, it's going against, you know, the wall of the vehicle. Now the way to solve this with a level 5 seat is very easy. You just press E on all the bearings, and then the most easy way to not screw this up is to stand here and think the wall is now to my left, meaning I'll have to take the left side and make it 1. I also recommend putting the turn speed up to full. This setting is totally okay, but you can make it higher if you notice like it's being slow or something. And there we have it. I recommend rechecking your bearings, because if you exit a menu before you let go of your mouse cursor, it might not save the setting you made. This is a weird quirk with the scrap mechanic that they hope they resolve when chapter 2 comes out in like 2030. But yeah, as you see, my settings are correct, and I will now... Oh wait, I already had it off the lift. Oh, okay. And now you will see that it does not work because I totally forgot to add the pipes on the wheels. I am very stupid. Let's add these back. No, not back, they were there in the first place. Now this might take a while and might be very tedious if you don't get the right angle right away. So be patient while doing this one, and don't throw your keyboard across the room if you like don't manage to get the pieces right. Now let's see if it works. And indeed, it does work, and it's very fast. Also, my roof is coming off my garage for some reason, but that doesn't matter. We got a fast tank now. That's cool and all. You see, we can do Tokyo drifting. Okay, this is not Tokyo drifting, but you see, it is very stable for a mechanical system. And as a bonus, if you make, for example, a piston-powered tank, if you already have clutches and stuff, you can use this as a brake system. And also for... I really have to fix that. Wait a minute. Oh. No, wait. It's not back. Alright. Do that. And... Hello? I guess my roof is like this now. Great. Well, anyways, that was the tutorial on making this tank. So, not really a clear tutorial, it's more just showing off the technology behind this and a simple example on what it can be used for. And yeah, I think that's all. Thanks guys for watching, and if you like this content, you can subscribe. And if you really don't like it, well, leave a comment saying what I should change. Maybe it's the way I record, or maybe I should just be more sensible and think this through a little more. Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.